Daily on Sun TV, the pulse of the nation. It's your number one source for business trends, market insights, and investment opportunities across Nigeria and beyond. I am Abraham Joda, and you can join us live on satellite and online for Sun TV Business Daily, streaming on Facebook at Sun TV, YouTube at Sun TV Live, and TikTok at Sun TV Live. Now here are the major headlines. Nigerian banks incur 3.77 trillion naira in loan losses since 2023. CBN confirms close supervision of forbearance-affected banks. Nigeria's strength is below 1,600 naira per dollar as US dollar shares weight. Now the news in full. 10 commercial banks listed on the Nigerian exchange has recorded a total of 3.377 trillion in loan impairment charges from 2023 to the first quarter of 2024. The charges were 1.34 trillion in 2023, 2.13 trillion in 2024, and 297.10 billion in Q1 2025. This significant increase in bad loans is attributed to Nigeria's macroeconomic volatility, including the sharp devaluation of the naira, soaring inflation, and higher interest rates. Now here are the top losers and their strategies. Zenith Bank recorded the highest loan losses at 1.03 trillion naira, but strengthened its buffers with an NPL coverage ratio of 223% in 2024. Meanwhile, Ecobank saw loan losses of 869.5 billion naira, with impairment representing over 29% of its net interest income. First Bank Holdings incurred 586.94 billion naira in loan losses, with a significant impact on probability and asset quality. Access Holding and GTCO also reported substantial loan losses but maintained stable cost of risk and NPL ratios. Despite these challenges, key risk metrics show some resilience, and banks are projecting confidence in their ability to manage their situation. The Central Bank of Nigeria has confirmed that banks currently benefiting from forbearance measures are under close supervision. Regulators' efforts to stabilize and strengthen Nigeria's banking sector. According to the CBN, this bank are subject to time-bound measures, including temporary restrictions on capital distributions, such as dividends and bonuses, to support retention of internally generated funds and bolster capital adequacy. The CBN noted that only a limited number of banks are affected by these measures, which include restriction on dividend payments and bonuses. The CBN recapitalization program is designed to align with Nigeria's long-term growth ambitions and have already resulted in substantial capital inflows and balance sheet improvement across the sector. The CBN's actions are consistent with global regulatory standards, and similar transitional measures have been adopted by regulators in other major markets. The CBN emphasized that Nigeria's banking sector remains fundamentally strong, and these measures are just part of an orderly implementation of reforms already underway. The naira maintained its bullish momentum in the official market, trading below the 1,600 naira per dollar resistance line. As of midweek, it traded within 1,585 to 1,590 per dollar bandwidth in Nigeria's business capital. This strengthening comes after Nigeria's inflation rate dropped to 32.97% in May, down from 23.71% in April. According to Bismarck Rurani of a financial derivatives company, the naira is expected to fluctuate between 1,600 naira per dollar and 1,650 naira per dollar on the official foreign exchange market during the June and July. The naira's strength is also influenced by global market trends, particularly the recent conflicts between Israel and Iran, which has caused unease among investors. This conflict has led to a surge in crude oil prices, driven by concerns over potential supply disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. Despite these challenges, the naira has shown resilience, bolstered by the Central Bank of Nigeria's efforts to control excessive money supply. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned Ugochukwu Joseph Nwamemere, Executive Director of Pennydraw Pen Oil and Gas Limited, before Justice E.A. Obile of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Nwamemere faces a 10-count charge for alleged conspiracy, forgery and obtaining money under false pretenses to the tune of 750 million naira involving Polaris Bank Limited. According to the EFCC, Nwamemere and his alleged conspirator, Osaugba Christian Uzuchukwu, approached Polaris Bank Limited for a loan for the execution of dredging and stockpiling of 100,000 tons of sharp sand on the ongoing Bodo Boni Road project. To obtain the loan, Nwamemere allegedly forged a document titled Pennydraw Pearl Oil and Gas Invoice number 142, dated 29th of November 2022, purporting it to have been declared by Julius Berger Nigeria PLC for payment of contract sum for a milestone completed by his company. The EFCC investigation revealed that the defendant allegedly convinced the bank and obtained a total sum of 750 million naira, but was later discovered that the loan proposal was false. The Lagos State House of Assembly has summoned 5 major ride-hailing companies, including Uber, Bolt, InDrive, Rider, and LagRide, to appear for a public hearing of allegations of labor rights violations. The companies have been accused of unsafe practices, unfair pricing, and suppression of labor rights by the Amalgamated Union of App-Based Transporters of Nigeria, AUTON. The union alleged that the companies have failed to comply with national collective agreements and engage in corporate negligence, resulting in the victimization of app-based transport workers. The petition outlines grievances including inadequate passenger safety measures and driver profiling. The union also raised concern over unilateral pricing decisions and unjust commission structures that reduce drivers' earnings. Drivers have expressed dissatisfaction with the Lagos State-backed LagRide platform, citing rare trip requests in suburbs and unavailability of promising features like daily payment tracking and insurance support. The public hearing scheduled for July 17, 2025 aims to address growing unrest in the ride-hailing sector and create a framework for safer, fairer, and more accountable operations in the Nigeria gig economy. The Abia State government has announced plans to launch the Greater Abia Master Plan, a comprehensive 25-year blueprint aimed at driving sustainable development and transformation of the state commercial hub. According to Commissioner for Information, Mr. Oke Kanu, the initiative is a collaborative effort between the Greater Aba Development Authority and United Nations Human Settlements Program, UNIHABITAT. Some of the key pillars of the master plan includes improving transportation development and connectivity within Aba, focusing on industrial zones, upgrades and formalization of commercial hubs, addressing planned urban expansion and sustainable development, also enhancing terrestrial resilience and managing flood risk, a perennial problem in the city. The master plan aims to address land use infrastructure and communication goals, promoting economic growth and improving the quality of life for residents. Additionally, the state government has made progress in healthcare expansion, inaugurating several primary health centers and extending health insurance coverage. The Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPPE, has expressed concerns that the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran could have significant implications for the Nigerian economy, particularly in terms of business operations and monetary stability. According to CPPE's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Muda Yusuf, the geopolitical tension may lead to increased global oil prices, inflationary pressures, and complicated monetary policy for Nigeria's financial authorities. Some of the potential economic impacts include the CPPE expect a tighter monetary policy regime in Nigeria, which could lead to higher interest rates and negatively impact businesses. Nigerian firms with strong business links in the Middle East and those with supply chain linkage in the region may be particularly vulnerable to the current instability. Higher global interest rates could adversely impact portfolio flows, leading to implications for foreign reserves. However, the CPPE also notes that the conflict could boost Nigeria's government revenues due to potential increases in crude oil prices, which could positively impact fiscal consolidation. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned Precious Williams, the director of Glosalalia Nigeria Limited, and Prelegend Nigeria Limited over alleged 13.8 billion Ponzi scheme fraud. Williams was arraigned before Justice S.I. Mark of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and faces a 14-count charge bordering on conspiracy, obtaining money under false pretense, advance fee fraud, and money laundering. The FCC alleged that Williams received funds traced to Maxwell Chidi Odum, founder of MBA Trading and Capital Investment Limited, who was still at large and loaned on them through company accounts. Williams allegedly took possession of 10 billion naira and 1.005 billion for MBA Trading and Capital Investment Limited, knowing that the funds were proceeds of unlawful activities. The Ponzi scheme allegedly involved obtaining money from over 3,000 unsuspecting members of the Nigerian public under the pretext of investment purposes, with promised returns of 10% to 15% interest per month. Williams pleaded not guilty to all charges, and the court remanded her in correctional facility pending the hearing of the application. FCMB Group PLC has reassured investors that it has made significant progress in reducing its exposure to forbearance-linked loans and is confident in its ability to maintain dividend payment despite regulatory headwinds. The bank disclosed that it has cut its forbearance-linked loan exposure by more than 60%, reducing it from 538.8 billion in September 2024 to 207.6 billion as of May 31, 2025. The bank expects these loans to fully exit the forbearance regime in the near term, which will likely lead to temporary increase in Stage 3 non-performing loans. FCMB is resolving a temporary breach of the CBN single obligor limit by converting a 23.1 billion loan to equity, which is expected to boost its capital base to about 267 billion naira. The group stated that the group level earnings are sufficiently diversified to withstand the temporary restriction on dividend payments from the banking, with non-bank subsidiary contributing 54% of total dividends paid to the stakeholders in 2024. FCMB proactive disclosure and accelerated resolution plan may offer some comfort to investors as markets continue to reprice Nigerian banking stock in the light of the CBN's forbearance phase-out and new capital rules. The Security and Exchange Commission (SEC) in Nigeria is set to launch a Crypto Smart Nigeria Strong initiative aimed at engaging developers in co-creating a framework of stablecoin regulations. The move is part of the Commission's effort to attract credible players, enhance investor education, and improve digital literacy in the digital asset space. The initiative will focus on teaching young investors across schools, universities, and social media platforms about basic blockchain principles, how to spot scams, and value of long-term investing. The CBN aims to promote responsible innovation and protect investors in the digital asset ecosystem. The Commission is working to enhance its licensing architecture, making it more efficient, transparent, and risk-based, introducing virtual asset service provider licenses. The SEC is also actively exploring a framework for Naira-pegged stablecoins, which will be fully backed by verifiable reserve, audited regularly by independent custodians, and used for cross-border trade payments and programmable finance. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, OPEC, recorded a decline in crude oil output in May 2025 as several member states implemented voluntary production cuts to compensate for prior breaches of agreed production quotas. The 8 members involved in the group current accord raised production by 154,000 barrels per day compared with the headline increase of 411,000 barrels a day. Some of the key details include Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, and Russia were among those compensating for past excess outputs. Iraq cut production by 49,000 barrels to an average of 3.93 million barrels a day, while Russia held flat, fulfilling its own compensation promise. Total OPEC production in May averaged 41.23 million barrels per day, which is 180,000 barrels per day higher compared to April. According to OPEC, Nigeria reported a total of 1.453 million barrels per day in May. OPEC will hold another monthly video conference on July 6 to consider making a further increase in August, which we are eager to make more supersized hikes to recoup market share as quickly as possible. The Nigeria Exchange Banking Index opened in the red. Now, the Nigeria Banking Index opened in the red on Monday, June 16, 2025, as investors dumped major bank stocks in reaction to a policy shift announced last week by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The index staged a recovery from its earlier losses of over 7% in pre-market trading, but still ended the day down by 3.98%. A reason for the declining close, the CBN directed banks currently benefiting from regulatory forbearance to suspend dividend payments, defer bonuses, and halt new investment in loan subsidiaries. The policy reversal is part of CBN's broader push to tighten oversight after the COVID-era forbearance framework. Analysts note that the most banks maintain strong non-performing loans coverage ratios, suggesting they are well positioned to weather a potential rise in bad loans. However, banks with lower NPL coverage, heavy exposure to vulnerable sectors under provision loan books may be more vulnerable to earning pressure. The federal government of Nigeria has officially launched its 50 billion Series 3 sovereign green bond aimed at financing environmentally sustainable projects that mitigate climate change and support long-term economic resilience. The bond will channel funds into key sectors such as renewable energy, clean transportation, sustainable water management, and climate change adaptation, aligned with Nigeria's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and advancing sustainability goals. Some of the key details of the bond include minimum subscription of 10 million naira with multiples of 1 million maturity naira. The maturity period is over 5 years and project funded as climate change adaptation and mitigation efforts for 15.96 billion allocated to the Federal Ministry of Environment and for Clean Energy Transition Initiative, while 15 billion naira directed towards PICNG's initiative. And water conservation takes 9.320 billion designated for constructing Three Earth Dam. Now, Dange Earth Dam project cost 6 billion naira, a mark for strengthening irrigation and water security. We also have the Bukuru Boko water supply project, which cost 1.075 billion for rehabilitation and upgrading. The bond offer opened on June 16, 2025, and will close on June 18, 2025, with allotment scheduled for June 20, 2025. The initiative reinforced Nigeria's commitment to sustainable development and has made Nigerian bonds attractive to foreign portfolio investors, driving continued interest in the nation's debt instruments. Nigeria is once again on the path to industrialization, according to Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun. Edun made this declaration while speaking at the Foreign Sovereign Investment Forum hosted by the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, in Abuja. He stated that the country's industrialization has stalled after independence, but is now poised for growth with the upcoming 1.2 million barrels per day of crude refining capacity and petrochemical companies producing raw materials for various industries. It will emphasize the need for capital mobilization at scale, regional and continental collaboration, and human capital and policy alignment as key pillars for Africa's future prosperity. He stressed the importance of creating the right environment for private sector participation, stating that the private sector is where the real money is. Edun praised the NSIA for its crucial role in capital mobilization and positioning itself as a leading capital provider and trusted gateway for global investors. He highlighted several innovative projects spearheaded by the NSIA, including the Green Guarantee Company and the Chapel Hill Dan M Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, Business Daily continues.
In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and GSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint, create stunning presentations that captivate audiences, graphic design using CorelDRAW, unleash your creativity and design skills, Photoshop, enhance your image editing skills and create stunning visuals, programming using web design, build dynamic websites and web applications, database development, learn to design and manage databases, UI/UX design, create user-friendly and intuitive interfaces. At the Turabo Business School, we believe in creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Our experienced instructors will guide you every step of the way, providing you with hands-on training and mentorship. Don't miss this opportunity to gain a competitive edge. Contact us today to learn more about our program and register for the next session. Call 080-6026-9140, 070-6342-8464, or 090-1010-8844 between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Turabo Business School, creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Join us today and unlock your full potential. Turabo Business School, opposite Civil Service Commission, Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Turabo State. Empower yourself with the skills of the future. Register.
Welcome back to Business Daily on Sun TV. Coming next is a special Sun TV report on food prices.